I have a hot tweet that bridges into a news story that bridges into hot tweets because it's a tweet.
I might have the same one.
Is it sandwich related?
Yes. Hello and welcome to Rekt Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy? Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know. A lot has gone down since we've spoken last.
A lot has gone down. It's mainly I've gotten back into crypto and I've since quit crypto.
We've had a full market cycle for Bunchu since the last
I'm fucking
episode.
out. I'm out. I'm out.
I know you're out. I
I am out. Fuck this shit. I am so far out. It is unbelievable.
But just stick to your tradable cards. You were showing me some nice images yesterday of some sweet, signed trading cards. I think
that. Oh man. That Kareem, how about that? Kareem the Dream,
man,
baby.
That's nice. That might have been like one of the last ones. That looks like it's from like 1990 or something.
Well, that's actually a new card. But
is it?
It's a new release this year that they got Kareem autos on, which is pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
I'm fucking out.
That's where you're shining. Maybe crypto just
for those who don't know what Chamber's talking about. You may know that I'm into the collectibles, the memorabilia, the sports cards, things like that. I actually bought someone's entire collection because this person capitulated on the card game, just like I am now capitulating on crypto. So I got a really sweet deal. I bought about 40,000 cards from this guy and for $2,500. So if every card was worth a dime, which there are definitely cards worth way more than that in here, I would still come out on top. So now I just got them all yesterday, and I'm sorting through everything and trying to figure out what the best way to flip them is.
So you bought the blood is what you're saying.
I did. I bought, he was doing exactly what I'm saying I'm doing with crypto right now. And I was there to pick up the pieces, as they say. So,
I hear you.
But yeah, I'm fucking out.
Riggedy, Rekt, son!
So crypto is just not for you. So maybe let's talk about what
I'd rather not.
No, that's not what people want to hear.
I'm contractually obligated to do this show, so
you do it for the benefit of the show. Fuck, buddy. Like, you're out. I mean, I'm not out, but man, I am. When there's a boxing match and Mike Tyson's going up some Irish guy. I'm the Irish guy right now. I'm woozy. I'm barely on my feet. I keep getting socked in the mouth. I keep walking forward. Just my mush is all messed up right now. My mush is all messed up right now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking for the rope. I'm trying.
You ever seen
to
Mike Tyson's Mike Tyson Punch Out? I'm Glass Joe. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I'm shattered. I am just I'm so out. I was like, all right, so let's backtrack here, because we've gone through a full market cycle, and so as you all know, I was no alts for basically almost, I would say, the better part of 2 years, right?
For sure, right, yeah.
Yeah, and so, I kind of missed out on the beginning of this DeFi craze and finally decided, okay, I'm missing out. I need to jump in. And then in the last 2 weeks, I have proceeded to just get absolutely destroyed. Everything I've touched has gone down 60 to 90%. And I'm out. I can't. It's just throwing money away. I can't do it. I mean, you've got your share of Rekt stories as well from the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean,
we could go right through them all. Like it's,
Which one? What was the first one? Let's talk about the first one.
Well, we talked about the first one last week. So it was Trib.
Trib, yeah. So Trib was the first one. Yes, that's right. We did talk about that one last week, where it's a different style. I
should have just stayed there. I would have lost far less.
Do you still have
no
your MUSD?
No, I turned that into I went and bought these other projects with that.
So, all right, I still have my MUSD for Trib, and just kind of just sitting on it. I don't know. MUSD, for those of you who don't know, is I think it's an MTA stablecoin. So I'm just sitting in a quasi stablecoin right now. But you converted that into Ethereum and bought more fun projects. Is that what we're saying?
More projects. There's not a fucking fun thing about them.
So we left Trib, and then I've been talking about Strong.
Well, hold on. So I left Trib. Yeah. And I actually turned my MUSD into MTA.
Okay.
Which proceeded to drop 40%. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
That's true. It did.
And now go to Strong.
Yeah. So then, I like I said, I've been talking about Strong for a long time now. Strong released its staking platform and node platform a couple days ago. Maybe 2 days ago. It feels like
Tuesday.
fucking.
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
It feels like forever ago. And for whatever reason, I'm still sorting it out. Just dumped, and I mean, there was some other project that same day that dumped hard. That there were some rug pulls on Uniswap.
I mean, I can tell you exactly why this thing dumped.
All right, why did this one in particular dump?
I can tell you exactly why. And again, shame on me for not doing enough research. I don't know if we all knew that this was how it was going to be set up before, because I feel like, just from doing reading afterwards and the now being a community member,
I became
reading the telegram and all that, and it seems like people did not realize exactly how how the rewards were going to work, other than, what you could stake. And even that, there was a surprise ERC20 token added at what seemed like the last minute that was announced like the day before.
Correct.
And so essentially how Strong is supposed to work is you can, stake your Strong just like any other of these yield farming, tokens, right? You're supposed to be able to stake your Strong. The difference here is you can also stake Ethereum for Strong, and you can also stake Chainlink for Strong. And what happened was, when this thing launched, the rewards for staking Ethereum and Chainlink were like 3 or 4 times higher than the rewards you would get for staking Strong. So there was essentially no incentive to hold this token that everybody was holding at $250 per token at the time of this launch. And so when it launched and everybody started to realize that, there was mass exodus from this token. And so everybody dumped, because why would you hold it except if you're me and held it? And so
me.
So the token, like the pool for ETH and Chainlink were just so much more advantageous, and there was no downside risk for those.
Correct.
Because you're not holding the underlying asset that's being staked and dumped. You're just holding ETH, right? So and you're making way more Strong. So like it was just a catastrophic failure. I mean, I've quite never seen anything like it. I mean, it dumped from $250 at the time of the launch.
Yep.
Actually, the night before the launch, it was up there, and then about at the time of the launch was around $200. Then immediately, just the dump started happening.
Well, I think the dump started happening maybe about an hour or two prior to the launch.
Right, because it was $250 the night before. At the time of launch, it was around $200, a little less, and then it just kept going. I think it got to a low of like $40.
Yeah, it got to $40. I loaded up. I loaded up at about $52.
I'm out of ammo, so I couldn't do it.
I'm still. It hasn't moved. It's still like it's.
Well, yesterday it bounced all the way up to about $100 yesterday morning, and then it's now back down. Current price $52.72. So it's down 30. It's down 30% today, and now MTA is back at my entry. So
are you still in strong? Like, do you still have it, or you're out?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta fucking hold this thing to zero now because I'm.
So the thing is, I don't know if you've been reading. It looks like if you're still staking strong, there's gonna be a bonus pool for those who purchased strong or that held strong prior to the launch. So there's going to be additional ways to kind of recoup. The difference, I guess, with strong, just to play devil's advocate on this one, is the people behind the scenes. They're reputable people to a certain extent, more so than say some of these anons that are doing the DeFi rug pulls.
Right, they're a docs team. It's the old EOS team,
right, there's some EOS people. I think Roger Veer's associated with this one.
Oh, again, I thought you said reputable.
Yeah, I know, not that reputable to a sense, in the sense that that who they are.
He's not a sushi chef.
Correct. So they are looking to help out the obviously the downside that the early holders felt in the first few days. So there's going to be apparently a separate pool for those people, and there's also talks of an airdrop for those people as well. So you might be able to recoup a little bit more than anticipated. Plus, ideally, hopefully, there's some upside.
At the current moment, mm-hmm. from what I have on Tuesday, from what I had in just a USD value, I am down around 75%.
Yeah, I'm not much worse than that, or not much better than that, I should say.
But so like you made a smart move pretty quickly that I just didn't have the capital to do. Like you went and staked one or a bunch of Ethereum,
yes, to
kind of grab the excess strong that you could, right?
Right. So I staked.
You were gaining a bunch of strong back by just putting your Ethereum to work, which is what everybody was doing and what made this thing such a giant shit show, because you didn't have to hold any strong.
Right. So I held it until that price got into about the 40s, and then I started seeing a rebound. And then just from the chat, in that Telegram chat, just seeing kind of what was happening, and what the ratio was. So as of today, it's about 1-to-1. So the strong pool is making about the same amount as the Ethereum or the Link pool. So once that news started coming out, once the team kind of started putting up a more positive message and a more positive plan towards strong, I flipped all that, not all that Ethereum, but a good chunk of that Ethereum, and then bought strong at about the $52 mark, and then stake that as well. So I am. Put it this way, my career in crypto is now staked to strong. So if it goes to zero, I'm not looking great. But if it recoups, might be okay. But yeah, I'm woozy right now. I've been hit in the face too many times, and even I got into one. I was
gonna say let's go to your other one.
Yeah, I got into one. Fucking thank goodness we were talking.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rekt podcast. Woo-hoo. I mean, we are living what we are practicing what we preach today.
We are indeed.
I don't think I've been more wrecked in crypto since you know, I don't know.
It's so many highs and lows too, because like a couple of weeks ago,
I've yet to experience any of those fucking highs. This is bullshit. I've literally, what is the opposite of a Midas touch? Because I have it. I literally said to you the other day, I'm like, I can't catch a winner to save my life. Like, literally cannot.
I mean, I haven't caught, I wouldn't say I've caught winners. I've definitely lost more than I've won in the last 7 to 10 days. I was fortunate enough to get the Uniswap drop and
missed that.
And honestly, I played that very well, in my humble opinion. I pretty much maximized the potential out of that one, at least in the short term. I purchased one. I got involved, and again, this is just more of a public service announcement. I was on Twitter. I saw an account that was talking about an ICO. An account that was pretty big that, I'd followed a little, I followed them, and, we buy similar bags. So I was like, okay, this guy's, we're in a lot of the same things. I'm going to listen to this guy. There was an ICO, get in early. There was like, whatever, I forget how much time was left. I buy, a decent sized bag of this product. It was called Yoink. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The idea behind it was interesting. It was a short-term play. The idea behind it was they set aside a good chunk of these tokens, and every day 1% would be kind of lotteried out to one of the top 500 wallets that was holding this particular token. And what had happened was this platform had paid these crypto Twitter people to promote it. Rightfully so. I mean, that's fine. But what they didn't do is they didn't lock up the tokens. So essentially, as soon as that platform went live, all of these people that got free tokens just dumped. And I bought tokens at about 2 cents, and it bottomed out at about half a cent from pre-sale price. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, what is happening right now? So I became a community member. Again, you get into those telegrams, you start talking to the team, you start talking to the admins, and you get an idea for how serious they are. Is this are they going to bail? And again, in this particular case, I was getting a pretty good sense from the team, like they'd made a mistake and they were still there. They didn't, after a few days, they were still trying to put things together. So I had bought a ton at the very bottom at about half, maybe 0.6 cents. And just started helping them promote it because the idea behind it was really good. And sure enough, it rebounded, and I actually made a profit on it. I was pretty happy about it. But then I turned that profit into more strong, and I'm fucking fucked on that right now. So it's such a fucking roller coaster ride where you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down. Now I'm down. I'm waiting for something to happen with this one. But yeah, man, we are fucking wrecked. It's insane. I think the biggest takeaway from here is do better research. Don't FOMO into stuff. I mean, sometimes it'll work out in your favor, and I think that's the double-edged sword. Because sometimes you FOMO in and it fucking works out, and sometimes you don't and it doesn't, and you try to double down on it, and it's like gambling, right? I mean, Bunch, you're a resident gambler. You don't chase your losses. Is that what they say?
Correct.
Yeah. So I guess sometimes you can chase your losses and it works out for you. Does that happen in gambling?
I mean, yeah, sure.
But it's pretty rare, right? Like you should not do that. You should not do that.
It's the easiest way to just get wrecked. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here we are, Rekt Podcast, true to our name. It's what a time to be alive. Bunch, I want to know, enough of the fucking negative. How is that beautiful? How is that beautiful home of yours doing?
It's fantastic.
You've moved in.
Yes.
You're a homeowner.
I am for now until Satoshi comes for my fucking mortgage.
How was the move? Was there any issues in the move?
Oh, I thought you didn't want any negative.
Well, I just assumed with all of your loving friends.
Look, of all of the blessings I've had in my life in the past week,
Yes.
Like, being able to move into a lovely new home. Everybody is healthy, all this stuff. I mean, it's been a pretty fucking shit week.
It has been. I can tell by your messages to me in Telegram, like, Bunchu's down right now.
I'm over. I just can't. I'm over crypto. And then last week I was supposed to move on Friday, and got a bone to pick with U-Haul. Basically, if you've ever seen. I'm sorry.
Did you say with U-Haul or with U-Haul?
U-Haul.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. All right.
U-Haul, the company that does moving trucks. They basically pulled the age-old Seinfeld sketch with the car reservation. So,
right.
I was supposed to move Friday. They called me Thursday afternoon and told me they didn't have the truck I reserved 3 weeks prior within a 50-mile radius.
Within a 50-mile radius?
Yes. So I basically had to... I had to push everything back. I had movers hired. I had people coming to help me. I pushed everything back to Saturday. And then Saturday was supposed to be a beautiful day, and it ended up downpouring on me for 5-6 hours. And then, but once we got here, on Saturday afternoon, I had a cavalry of family here, and it took us about 5 hours to load up the truck and all that. It took an hour to empty the truck. It was awesome. So we had lots of love and support here that helped us unpack, and we are settled in, and it's been great. I'm glad that I live here, and it's beautiful, and you'll have to come play some golf.
Buddy, you're saying all the right things right now.
Yeah, so those are the good things going on. But so yeah, that's that.
Buddy, my personal life has not been going that well. I'm gonna be honest. My family hates me. I think they're plotting my death. I'm jobless. It's not great. It's not. However,
have you been starting the search now or what?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been dragging my heels. I don't technically have to get a job until next summer,
right?
Which is great. But at the same time, you're a working guy. You know what it's like when you're not working. You kind of go crazy, right? Like it's nuts. Like, I mean,
well, see, like for me, I have all these little side businesses that I do. So it's like I would love love not working, quite honestly, because I would be doing all these other side businesses.
I feel it's like a cumulative effect. When I have more jobs, I'm more efficient. When I have less jobs, I'm less efficient.
I can see that.
So I do. I maybe you can help me out with this. I have applied to one job a couple of weeks back.
Your weed job.
Weed job, yeah. So I was very high one night, and LinkedIn, LinkedIn
knew.
Yeah, LinkedIn's like, hey. Like specifically in my area for a type of job that I'm very well qualified.
That's because your Siri could smell it.
Don't get me started about Siri. I'll circle back to Siri in a second. But so a job for one of the most prominent cannabis companies in the world has a job opening for something I'm perfect for. So I applied, and I don't know what the process is. Like, does it take a long time? I haven't applied for a job in like 14 years, I think. So it's so foreign to me at the moment. So I'm like, well, now there's like LinkedIn and this and that. And like when I was looking for a job last time, like LinkedIn wasn't a thing. I don't even think Facebook was a thing, to be honest.
LinkedIn's the best when it comes to jobs, I think.
So tell me if I'm doing anything wrong here. So what I did was I looked up the company on LinkedIn, and I'm like, how can I get an edge? Like, how can I talk to, like, I'm a schmoozer. Like, I like to get in, I like to talk to people and kind of like build my way into something to kind of get my way. And I started following people, I started reaching out to people that work for this company. So like I'd look at the company and like all the people that worked for this company, I said, okay, well, here's the director of sales for Canada. Here's another person that does that same job, but in a different city. And I kind of befriended about a half a dozen of these people. And then a couple of them I just messaged. I said, hey, just checking. I just wanted to know if like the position was filled already. I applied for this particular position. I'm looking to make a change, yada, yada, yada. And I've had some pretty good success with it, actually. I talked to somebody that did the same position in a different town, and they hooked me up with like the regional director that would be looking for that. They were pretty sure that the job hadn't been filled yet, so I reached out to that person. So I'm kind of working the back channels to get my name hopefully to the top of the list. Is that a bad technique?
No, I think that's a good technique.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was doing like a LinkedIn faux pas or something. You know what I mean?
No, that sounds like you're killing it. I think they may just be lethargic because they're too high.
Very possible. The other thing too, the company I used to work for was very like, I worked with 95% like white guys. That's who it was. It was like 1965 ad agency, the company I worked for. Okay, and as I'm kind of going through the personnel in this other company, it's like there's like 4 women that are like directors, and I'm like, they have women that work for the company, and like it's crazy. Like that was the thing that I noticed working for my old company for so long. It was so apparent. Like we had like basically no women work for our company, no women in management at least, and people of color was not very much prominent there as well. And then it's just like people of color and women. I'm like, I may not get the job because I'm a white guy. I'm like, geez. So I was pleasantly surprised to see a little bit more diversity in this company. I'm like, so it's not 1966 anymore. So it'll be interesting. I like the idea of working for a weed company. I think 15-year-old Chamber would be very impressed with himself.
Fucking present day chamber would be pretty impressed with himself.
But yeah, so hopefully that works out. I'm still waiting. I'll give an update as I get them, but technically the job is still available. All the right people know who I am now, and I'll let you know if I get an interview.
There we go. Well, I think that's a great segue for the news, but before we do that, a word from our sponsor.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
And we're back. All right, Chamber, let's get to the news. We've got a lot of it. We wasted a long time just jabber-jawing.
Just jibber-jabbering.
We got a lot of news.
We do have a lot.
We haven't talked in a week.
And there has been so much happening. Let's talk about Coinbase. They were
speaking of employers.
Yeah. This is an interesting topic. I've seen it a couple of times now. A couple of days ago, Coinbase came out and basically said that, in so many words, that they were basically neutral on what was happening in the world, and they just wanted to focus on what they could focus on. They're not siding with anybody. They're not doing any additional things for social communities or anything like that. They're just, hey, we're Coinbase. We're focusing on Coinbase. Is that basically how you read it?
Yeah, and basically it was anybody who didn't like it can go pound sand.
Go suck an egg, right?
Right.
So today, yesterday, Coinbase is now offering packages for employees who want to exit after the release of the blog post from its CEO outlining why the crypto exchange operator will take an apolitical mission. So CEO Brian Armstrong, who penned the controversial blog outlining why the exchange will mainly focus on its crypto mission versus social activism, said it would provide employees with a package to leave the firm if they, quote, did not feel comfortable with the new direction, according to the internal company email reviewed by the block. In the blog post released Sunday, Armstrong explained why the firm should be quote, laser focused on its mission to build and open a financial system while focusing minimally on broader societal issues and political causes. The message was met with a cacophony. I love when people use that word. A cacophony of both support and opposition from the crypto world and beyond. Some praised the former Airbnb engineer for attempting to cultivate an ideological, inclusive environment. Others argued that the tone of the piece was cold and out of touch. As for the severance package, Armstrong is offering employees keen on leaving as much as 6 months of severance and a potential 7-year option exercise window. I don't know what that means. Here's the passage from the email. The package we're offering to anyone who doesn't feel comfortable with this new direction. So this is an email here. First point here is 4 months severance for employees with less than 3-year tenure, 6 months severance for those who have been here for more than 3 years, 6 months of COBRA, and that's COBRA. I don't know what that is.
That's health insurance.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yes.
7-year option exercise window, even if you've been here less than 2 years, pending final board approval. If you're not sure what that is, you can read more. Here is what they say in the letter. It's always sad when we see teammates go, but it can also be what is best for them and the company. As I said in my blog post, life is too short to work at a company that you aren't excited about. Hopefully this package helps create a win-win outcome for those who choose to opt out. Armstrong added, quote, if you're interested in speaking with HR about this package, not committing to take it, but beginning a discussion, please fill out the form and someone will reach out to you shortly. Your conversation will be confidential with HR unless you choose to include your manager. If you decide to proceed, HR will provide you with a separation agreement and will work with you on your last day. So it finishes off here. In a sense, the email is in line with the original blog and reflects how at least one other large corporation has handled a similar situation. In 2018, Amazon asked a number of its associates, full-time and part-time hourly employees, to leave if they wanted, as reported by The Atlantic. In turn, Amazon offered them a $5,000 check. So interesting. What do you think? Is this a good move? Bad move? What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it's too far the other way. Like, I get it, and I'm not the most...
And for the record, before you say anything else, I honestly don't know how you lean.
I keep that pretty close to the vest.
You are an enigma to me politically.
I keep it pretty close to the vest because I don't like to be judged either way.
I honestly don't know what you're going to say right now.
There you go. Well, I mean, look, I get it. I don't like the way corporations are turning into their own social activism chambers these days. Like, yep. I think there's a problem. Like, it's a slippery slope when you do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, being inclusive is important, and being able to have a work environment in which you feel that your beliefs and things can be heard and you know that you're included and you're treated fairly is very important, and that's going to draw big talent, I think, if you feel that way, if you have a work environment that makes you feel that way. I don't think that my corporation's Twitter account needs to be weighing in on, everything that's going on outside of the workplace. Like, so I think there is a bridge too far in that direction with some of these places. But, and it does, I can see how that could be distracting, but I don't know, this seems a little too far the other way. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's, hey, we're here to work. We're not here to play social games, but it's I think you put a little fear mongering into that as well. And you now, if someone doesn't feel comfortable, now they have to take this package, and when they go to find a new job, they're going to be like, "Oh, why'd you leave?" And that could be a stigma on this other person too. So like, I don't know. It just seems, I get it. I don't totally disagree with it. I just don't. I think it might be a little too much. That's my take.
No, I agree. I think you're right. There might be people that work for the company that are very socially minded, and I mean, the argument is, like, if you own a big company, do you use the power of that company to push your opinion, right? I don't want to say agenda, because that's a little too, I don't know, nefarious in my opinion, but your opinion, if you're the CEO of Amazon, do you use Amazon to push your opinion one way or the other? I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, considering that company, Coinbase, obviously smaller than Amazon, but still a fairly huge company, have hundreds of people working for them that may not share that same opinion. It is tough. I think you're best off, like you said. Do you have to hop on? Does the company Twitter account need to hop online and call out for all these different things? Maybe not. If you're Coinbase, is it really affected by it? If it's a company that's maybe more aligned with a particular group, yeah, maybe that's the case. Like I've been having so many. I didn't realize, by the way, I'll get into the NBA in a second. I didn't realize how many people were upset with what was happening with the NBA, and obviously the NBA. Big time. Yeah, that's crazy to me. But I'm a simple man. I was talking to my dad the other day, and he's not a big. He kind of puts his finger in a lot of sports, and I said, "Oh, you've been watching any of the sports?" He's like, "Not really," and he's like, "Oh, I'm definitely not watching basketball." And he obviously knows I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, frickin'," and he's talking about the jerseys and stuff. I'm like, "I guess," but I mean, in that sense, like the NBA makes sense because so much of your employees are affected on one side of that argument. So right. It makes sense for that company to kind of align on that side of the argument. You know what I mean? There's 85% of the people that are more or less affected by, say, the Black Lives Matter movement or that racial injustice that they're feeling in America. So that, to me, makes sense that the NBA kind of aligns with that. Not necessarily Coinbase, because I don't know if Coinbase necessarily falls on one side of the argument or the other. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that is interesting. The packages could be better, though. That being said, the packages could be better.
I thought 4 months for anyone under 3 years, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, for just saying, "Hey, I'm leaving" because you made a blog post. Sure.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That is true.
I'll take it. Anyway, all right.
What do you got? What do you got for news?
Well, okay, we're going to circle back to that one later because I have a hot tweet associated.
All right,
with
cool.
It. So, I've got a surprise news story here for you.
Ooh.
Yes, I actually posted it in the chat, and then I decided I wanted to play this game with you, all right. And then so I deleted it quickly before you saw it.
I definitely did not see it, so that's good.
Okay, so the headline is here's what it is. Man charged with scamming investors out of $6.8 million in crypto trading scheme. Okay?
Okay.
Man charged with scamming investors out of $6.8 million in crypto trading scheme. Your job is guess what state that man is from.
All right. Obviously, you say state, so obviously he's in America.
Yes.
I mean, my heart tells me Florida. But it could... Yeah, I want to say Florida.
That is correct. Florida man charged with scamming investors out of $6.8 million in crypto trading scheme. Florida businessman has been charged by the SEC, announced on Tuesday. According to the court complaint filed in the federal court in Miami, this man's name is Thomas J. Giddy. Allegedly received funding from at least 18 investors by pretending to be a high-profile asset trader who never lost money during a trading day. Oh, my God. Florida, come on, man. Come on.
Is that Davey Day Trader?
Seriously. Giddy was accused of providing fake account statements to investors to trick them into thinking he was managing as much as $100 million in assets. Per the complaint, Giddy told investors he would use their funding to trade digital assets, but only transferred $970,000 of the $6.8 million he received into trading accounts. Giddy allegedly transferred over $1.8 million of the funds to his son and for personal expenses and gambling. Love this guy. Giddy is facing charges for violating multiple securities laws, including the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. Maybe a bit outdated. The SEC is seeking a civil penalty and moving to prevent Giddy from taking part in securities offerings. So, hold on. 18 investors.
So what does that work out to?
That's what I'm doing.
That's a lot per. Yeah. That's what does that work out to?
That's like $3.25 million. I mean, $377 million per.
Would you say 8.5?
Or sorry, $377,000 per.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what you want. You just want a few whales.
I mean, that's how you do a really nice Ponzi. That's the key. You keep the participants low, you know?
That's right. That's interesting.
All right, so that was my surprise.
I couldn't think of another state.
I mean, I don't know how prominent this is in Canada, but like
Florida, I would have said Canada was the state in question, but if it wasn't Canada, it's gotta be Florida.
Florida man stories are like a thing here. It's like a meme.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I'm aware of like the Florida man bath salt stuff and like that.
Yeah, like you could probably just search. Like, there's a Florida man story a day in like the history of the world. And so, like, it's kind of a meme. So I didn't know if you were familiar with the meme or not. So I figured I'd try you.
No, I'm familiar with the lore of Florida. They put the lore in Florida. Does that make sense? I don't know.
I believe it's pronounced Florida.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. But yeah, no, I just think it's a legendary place. I would enjoy living there for a short period of time, I think. Like a 5-year stint in Florida would be interesting to me.
All right, you got one more? I think we both have one more story.
Yeah, I got one more here. Uniswap becomes the first DeFi protocol to hit $2 billion in total value locked. Top non-custodial exchange, Uniswap has become the first decentralized finance DeFi is what it shorts for, protocol to cross the $2 billion in total lock value, TVL. Uniswap's TVL, or the total value of all assets deposited in the protocol, stands at $2.03 billion at the time of writing, according to Tracker DeFi Pulse. ETH, Tether, and Wrapped Bitcoin are Uniswap's top 3 tokens of liquidity. I like how Wrapped Bitcoin has become a thing. It's a way to play with Bitcoin in these DeFi markets. So that's an interesting thing here. Uniswap's dominance among other DeFi protocols is about 18%. The combined TVL of all protocols has hit more than $11 billion as the yield farming trend continues. Decentralized lending protocol, MakerDAO, is not too far away to hit the $2 billion in TVL. The builder of DAI stablecoin has 1.95 in total deposits. Aave follows next with 1.54 billion in TVL. So This is pretty. It's a lot of money in DeFi, man. While the TVL has been become a buzzword in the DeFi space, it is not the ideal metric to look at the DeFi activity, according to the Block research. The Block's Open Finance Index, which takes into consideration vertical-specific parameters such as decentralized exchange volume, provides a much better picture. So check that out, the Block's Open Finance Index. So a lot of money, over 11 billion combined when you take all those dexes.
Wow,
A lot of cheddar.
lot of cheddar. All right, and I got one more story here. Then we're going to get into some hot tweets. So for the first time in Ethereum's history, miners made more from fees than from block rewards. Ethereum's miners made more money from gas or transaction fees than from block rewards in September. The event has occurred for the first time in Ethereum's history, according to the Block research. Miners made about, any guess?
No, I have no guess.
172 million from fees last month and about 150 million from block rewards, taking their total revenue to more than 320 million.
I guarantee that both you and I will be the same in this statement. I believe I have spent more in gas fees in the last 7 days than I have in my entire crypto career. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Are you in the same? Yeah.
Backing up to Strong, by the way, because there's gas fees associated with this.
Yes.
So now, if I'm claiming this Strong, like I can claim every day, right?
Yes.
I click Claim Strong, and it takes me to a transaction that I have to do to claim Strong.
Correct.
Right? So I have to pay gas fees to claim it.
Correct.
And then pay the gas fees again to stake it.
Not to stake it. You don't have to pay gas fees to stake it. You have to pay gas fees to approve it. What I've found, and again, this just shows how fucking stupid I am when it comes to trading.
Because the fee basically outweighs what
the cost of the reward is.
What the reward is.
So there's two things for me here. So I didn't realize you need to approve your tokens before you can send them somewhere. So there's a fee for approving, basically saying,
which is small typically.
Yeah,
right?
like a buck and
like
$1.50, $2. Yeah. So there's that one, and I believe that's the fee that you're paying to stake after you've claimed it. The claim is your typical transaction, which could be $3, $5 on the low end, to $15 on the high end, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Obviously, they've been much higher than that, but I'd say recently that's kind of been the high and the low. The other thing I'm not aware of, so I ran into that yesterday when claiming Strong. Is it better just to wait, 3, 4, 5 days and then make one claim at a time?
That's
what I mean? Or does the gas, and again, this is just my stupidity, does it correlate? So if I'm paying...
it doesn't correlate.
Okay, so I can save up the
like if you have a $19 gas fee now,
right? I'm not gonna have 4 times that in 4 days,
right? It's just what the gas fee is at that current moment.
So here, I'm gonna claim right now, or I'm gonna attempt to claim right now, and I'll tell you what the gas fee is.
Mine is 19. I just did it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, mine's
$19. Mine's $19.52.
Yeah, mine's $15.17 right now. So it's too much. So I'm gonna let that chill out for a bit.
For half a Strong, that's worth $25.
Right. It's a 50% haircut on your reward.
Right. So
no fun.
I mean, in my opinion, this should just automatically start compounding for you without having to claim it.
I agree. But
anyway,
fees would need to be paid anyways, right?
Yeah, I guess. But
so then it would probably if they did, they would just pay us less reward. I'm assuming they'd probably take it out of the reward.
That's all right. They've just taken all my money anyway. So fuckers. Anyway, all right. Well, that's gonna do it for us for the news. We are going into one of our favorite segments here, which is Hot Tweets.
Hot tweet.
Hot tweets.
Hot tweet.
Hot
tweets.
Hot tweets.
That drop gets me every time. Every single one.
So good.
Every single one. All right. I've got 4 hot tweets here that I'm going to get your opinion on.
All right.
Since you couldn't find any hot tweets.
I couldn't find any hot tweets.
I seem to have a knack for hot tweets.
You're the funnier one, I would say.
Well, again, these tweets are not my own.
I know, but you know funny when you see it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, some of these aren't funny, but, this one is. This is a great tweet from someone who is verified. I don't know who this person is, but their name is Claire G. Coleman, at Claire G. Coleman. And then this says, essentially, to summarize, Subway's bread is actually cake. Irish court rules Subway bread is not bread. So I don't know if you've seen this story.
I have seen this story.
The Irish court ruled that Subway bread is not bread, stating that it was too sugary, 5 times the amount of sugar that is in a normal piece of bread, I guess. So
are they checking the honey oat one, or which one are we doing? Is that the straight Italian?
I think it's straight. I think it's all of them.
Oh,
5 times the normal amount.
Have you ever seen any other piece of fast food get thrown under the bus as much as the bread at Subway? No. Maybe the styrofoam containers from McDonald's back in the day.
Yeah, if you throw a piece of bread from Subway under a bus, I think it will survive.
I think the bus explodes, actually.
What was the other Subway bread story that came out not too long ago?
It was made out of yoga mats. Yep, that was one.
So just some really sweet, sugary yoga mats.
Oh, but
I'll take a foot long.
I have a love-hate relationship with Subway because sometimes I'm like, ooh, a Subway sandwich hits the spot, but then sometimes
you're like, pedophilia. Dang.
Subway has really, that's a good point. Subway is really, considering all the negative news, is really triumph
for a goddamn sandwich shop. I mean,
right?
Like they're in the news so much. I feel bad for their social media guys.
Sometimes I hate when you walk by a Subway and you smell that bread, and it's just the fucking worst smell in the world.
Oh, I think it's good.
But sometimes I think it's amazing. It depends on the day. If I'm not going in to get it, and if I'm just walking by, I fucking hate it. But if my sight is set on getting a nice BMT, or you know what, my go-to is a nice tuna sandwich. Like tuna.
Subway's the only one that I'll eat tuna from. I don't know why.
So it's good. Put some pickles on that, maybe a jalapeno chip on the side.
I go tomato on it. Yeah. And then sometimes some black olive.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, well,
hey, teach their own. Teach their own.
Anyway, all right. Next hot tweet here. This comes from someone verified as well. At Dick Costello. His handle is at Dick C. And I believe this person is a former CEO of Twitter.
Okay.
I believe. And this tweet has to do with the Brian Armstrong topic we were talking about before.
Right. Yep.
This tweet says, "Me first capitalists who think you can separate society from business are going to be the first people lined up against the wall and shot in the revolution. I'll happily provide video commentary."
Oh, jeez. Dark.
What do you think? Too much?
Too much. Yeah, too much. I'm pretty sure that's, I don't know if it's exactly a death threat, but it's definitely death threat adjacent.
I mean, it's definitely a snuff film.
It's with DVD commentary.
Yeah, it's Dick Costello snuff film director's cut.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's pretty rough. I've been on Twitter. A lot of people think I'm like a lib snowflake. In my personal life,
everybody can't decide what I think you are either.
Everybody thinks I'm a MAGA hat wearing, psychopath. But I definitely am more, on the Dem side, I would say.
At
least
classify you.
Typically. And I mean, I'm not.
I don't know, but I'm
not that upset with.
I think you're pretty in the middle.
I'm just a reasonable person.
See, like, that's how I feel I am too.
Like, just be reasonable. Like, if you have an opinion about something you have no idea about, shut your mouth. Like, I thought. Unfortunately, it's my father that brings this up a lot. Like, he was talking about Black Lives. My mom was talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be black. Shut the fuck up. Like, that's it. Like, you have no opinion. I don't know. It sounds awful at times. It sounds like they have they're having some issues over there. I'm one to believe them. If a bunch of people are saying one thing and I'm not part of that group and I don't necessarily know what they're going through, I tend to believe the people that are saying the thing, because that's just like a reasonable reaction to what's happening.
Right.
So yeah, I think for most things, I'm just a reasonable person. And if something's unreasonable, like, I don't think necessarily Brian Armstrong's being unreasonable. I agree with you. Maybe it's a little too much to the one side, but
to just say, if you don't like it, walk. Like,
I think the follow up to that maybe a little too much.
To be fair, this response comes after stuff like Spotify employees protesting and striking because they want to censor Joe Rogan. Like, right. So, I mean, that's totally outrageous to the other side of the extreme.
Exactly.
Like, god damn.
And what are we censoring Joe Rogan for?
Because he was going to do the...
was he going to do it, though? Like, what? Like, that was what was being said.
But I think that's what was be... Yeah.
I mean, if you think
it'd be better than Chris Wallace.
Buddy, that was a train wreck. I mean, I think at the end of the day, they just need to have the ability to mute either debater.
I think that's coming for sure.
I'll be surprised if the Republicans agree to it.
I'm going to be, quite honestly, I'll be surprised if there is another one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it hinges on the fact if they can cut the mic when somebody's talking too much. We all know who that was for the most part.
I don't know. They were both, Trump was way worse. But
yeah.
But there was definitely times where Biden was doing it where Chris Wallace just was letting it happen, and he was just piling on when Trump would do it.
But Wallace,
Trump was definitely worse. Don't get me wrong.
There was a couple of times Chris Wallace was like laughing out loud. I'm like, yeah. What's happening? I don't know who you get. I don't think Joe Rogan's the answer.
First of all, Rogan's it's Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, that's the answer.
I mean, you're not wrong. But these people that think Joe Rogan should be monitoring the debate, Joe Rogan has a fantastic podcast. But at the end of the day, he doesn't know. He says a lot of things without doing the research, in my opinion, required with such a big following. I mean, I don't know how many people fucking listen to that show, but millions. A big chunk of people. Millions. And he does say a lot of things that people take, at face value that are wrong because he didn't take that extra step to do the background, you know what I mean? Right. So again, I don't think he's doing it maliciously. I just think he started doing a podcast like we're doing a podcast. Like a lot of the shit that I say or that you say for the 7 people that are listening right now, it doesn't have that much of an effect. I can say all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, but if we had millions of people,
exactly,
we would have to do a little more due diligence.
100%. And I just don't think it's happening to the level it needs to be a reputable source for that kind of. I mean, it's insane to me that you'd want Joe Rogan to moderate a debate like that. I think Samuel L. Jackson, I think you're right, is the right answer.
All right, 2 more tweets here, and then we got to wrap this bad boy up. This is from our friend Bully Esquire.
Mm-hmm. Friend of the show. So nice to say that.
Yeah, I know. People out here calling for the top of DeFi. The top here? The total market cap of DeFi projects is currently $13.9 billion. That's less than the market caps of XRP and BCH combined. But yeah, okay, sure, this is the top of DeFi.
Ooh.
Thoughts?
I'm excited. When smarter people than me say things that are in my favor, I'm very excited about it.
I mean, I still can't make fucking money either way, so
No.
I mean, what does it matter?
No, obviously this is a mini little whatever cycle we'll call it. As much as people are making in the DeFi space currently, it's nowhere close to where it was in 2017 and in parts in the early 2018. It's nowhere close to it. You know, we're not having friends and family members asking. I mean, we're gonna have Thanksgiving in Canada shortly. Shortly thereafter, we're gonna have Thanksgiving in the U.S.
They're gonna ask you how to farm sushi.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my grandma to ask me how to farm sushi.
How do you farm a sushi?
The knitting
Chamber. Chamber. Tell me how to farm a sushi, please. Would you pass me a corn?
Can you put an instructional video up on the YouTubes?
Yams. What are the yams?
It gives me a little gas.
All right.
But yeah, so
now I got one last tweet here. Yes. This is from friend of the show. A very good friend of the show, I would say. At Chamber Rekt.
Oh no.
Have you noticed all these hot tweets actually perfectly correlated to all of our stories today? So, I do have a knack for sniffing out these tweets.
I'm telling you.
So we've both gotten rug pulled a couple times in this past week.
Yes.
This one I think is a good one to end the show on. It got 28 likes, which for you is just amazing.
Might as well be 1 million.
By the way, big jealous from you on my tweet engagement last week. We didn't touch on that. But we don't have to go into that now. We could save that for later. But
my tweet exposing your tweet.
It just doubled down on the fire. Okay, so this one you tweeted at 4:44 p.m. On 9/26, so 4 days ago. Lots of quote-unquote influencers shilling pre-sales, then immediately dumping under entry price and leaving bag holders high and dry. Be careful.
It's true. I saw it happen at least 3 or 4 times over the past 7 days, where, like I'd mentioned earlier, with the token I was participating on, where I just saw somebody on Twitter, somebody that I knew a little bit, that traded similar bags to me. So, being the meathead that I am, I aped in, and they got paid their tokens and subsequently dumped. And that happened, I'll be honest, the same person did it a couple of times. I was obviously
same person, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you gonna expose them?
No. They've exposed themselves. I mean, if people are following that particular person, they're seeing what's happening. But it's not just that particular person. I've seen at least a half a dozen that I've noticed on Twitter, promoting a project, and then that project, then you hear that project just, getting a rug pull or just getting dumped on. Not necessarily a rug pull, because rug pull just usually means the liquidity was pulled from Uniswap, but just dumping their tokens that they received for shilling. So be careful. Don't necessarily jump in to a project that somebody just tweets about because you follow them and because they trade the same as you. Do a little research. Don't do what I do, I guess, is at the end of the day.
That's it. That's a good note to end on. It was good to be back-ish.
Yeah, I mean, it did provide a ton of content.
Sure did. No, let me.
It's only up from here.
I'm gonna go tie myself to some hashtag rope from.
Yeah, that's the other problem. We did not take advantage of enough airdrops because people are getting.
Well, now I feel like I'm just panhandling. Like, oh, give me an airdrop, please, because I'm wrecked and everything else.
I think you have to wait for the right one. Like you'll know it when you see it. I feel like you could probably get $20 here, $20 there, but getting the right one to get one of those $1,500 airdrops or $5,000 airdrops, that's what you want.
That's the dream, man.
That is
Free
the dream.
cash.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. We will be back next week with another banger as per usual. That's going to do it. Until next time, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a Rekt patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Rekt podcast. Don't get wrecked.